husband divorced me for his intern, not knowing I was the one who owned his entire empire. I am Sarah, and I spent 15 years of my life building my husband, Mark, from a struggling door-to-door salesman into the famous CEO of a multi-million-dollar tech empire. I was the one who stayed up until 3 in the morning writing his keynote speeches. I was the one who used my own secret connections to land him his first $10 million contract. I was the silent engine that made his entire life move while he took all the credit and enjoyed the spotlight. Last night, at what was supposed to be our 15th anniversary dinner, Mark didn't bring flowers or a gift. Instead, he slid a cold white envelope across the table. It was a set of divorce papers. He looked me right in the eye without a shred of guilt and told me that I had become stale. He said his brand was evolving and he needed a partner with fresher energy to match his massive success in the industry. That energy was already waiting for him at the bar. It was Tiffany, his 22-year-old intern who had been with the company for less than 6 months. She was wearing a designer dress that I had actually approved as a company expense for the marketing team. Mark laughed and told me I had exactly 48 hours to pack my things and move out of our estate. He told me the house, the cars, and the company belonged to him because his name was the only one on the front door. The public humiliation was absolutely brutal. By the time I got to my car, Mark had already updated his relationship status on social media and posted a photo of them together, calling Tiffany his new partner in life and business leadership. My phone began to vibrate non-stop with pitying messages from people I thought were my closest friends. They all assumed I was just a discarded housewife who had been outplayed by a younger woman. They thought I was finished, and Mark was certain I was powerless. But Mark made one massive, arrogant mistake. He never actually looked at the founding documents I had drawn up when we were both broke and desperate. See, Mark is the face of the company, but I am the legal foundation. 10 years ago, when the firm was just a dream, I used my entire inheritance from my grandmother to fund every single cent of the startup. My legal team was very specific back then to protect my investment. While Mark's name was on the office door for the public to see, my private holding company owned every single patent, every piece of proprietary software, and even the legal trademark for the company name itself. Mark wasn't the king of the castle. He was just a high-paid actor I had hired to play the role of a CEO in my world. The escalation happened this morning at the corporate headquarters. Mark walked into the executive boardroom with Tiffany on his arm, ready to announce their engagement to the entire staff. He was acting like he owned the air everyone was breathing. I walked in 5 minutes later with a team of 6 security guards and my lead litigation attorney. Mark laughed when he saw me and asked if I was there to beg for a bigger alimony check. I didn't say a word. My lawyer simply handed him a cease and desist order and a termination notice. We informed him that his employment was being ended immediately due to a massive violation of the moral conduct and brand integrity clause in his executive contract. Then came the shocking reveal that turned his world into dust. I told the entire board of directors, right in front of a terrified Tiffany, that my holding company had just revoked Mark's right to use any of my intellectual property. Since I owned the trademarks personally, he couldn't even use the company name on a resume or a LinkedIn profile anymore. He didn't just lose his job, he lost his entire professional identity in 10 seconds. Without my software and my patents, his multi-million-dollar firm was just a collection of empty offices and expensive furniture. Tiffany's face went from smug to pure horror as she realized she hadn't landed a billionaire. She had landed a man with 0 assets and a mountain of upcoming legal debt. The payoff was watching Mark try to call his investors, only to realize I had already bought out their shares an hour before the meeting started. He walked out of that building with nothing but a cardboard box and his gym bag. I didn't just keep the house, I kept the empire he thought he stole from me. He's standing in the rain right now with absolutely nothing, all because